Hi, I'm Bill Snodgrass. I am the author of The World of Siliar, and in this episode, I want to talk about a couple of characters that came late to the story, but emerged as two of my very, very favorites, and I'll tell you the story behind them. I'm talking about Eliz and Fuller in this episode. Eliz and Fuller appear. They show up around the third book, and they show up. Well, Fuller shows up in the second book, and Eliz shows up in the third book, and then the origins of those two characters is very special to me. And there's a lot of little like Easter egg humor connected to them. Here's where they came from. So for years and years, I played World of Warcraft. I have resumed playing recently in 2019. I resumed after a 3.25 year hiatus of not being on the game. Eliz and Fuller were two of my World of Warcraft characters. The one was a priest, Eliz, surprise, and Fuller was World of Warcraft paladin. Well, I didn't want to just bring paladin directly into the World of Siliar. So Anthony, my oldest son, and I, we spent a few days contriving sort of something that would fit with the way paladins were in World of Warcraft into the World of Siliar. So Anthony came up with a class of warrior / magic type people that we called ringmen, and that's outlined in the story. But Fuller and Eliz eventually meet, and here's kind of the little humor part of that I think is funny. In World of Warcraft, one of the big jokes is that all the characters look pretty much the same. You can change their hair color, you can change aspects of them, but the models of the characters are not, especially back in the olden days when Lich King and before, the models there's just not a lot of variety. And so one of the jokes was like, all the female warriors can wear each other's clothes, and that sort of thing, which is kind of a joke within the game. Of course, they can all wear each other's clothes. It's just it's a game. I mean, if I have a piece of armor, you could have it too, unless game rules applied there. So in Siliar, I decided that in homage to Fuller and Eliz in World of Warcraft, I would have them both look very, very similar. And so much so that it's kind of funny to me, but so much so that there's a scene that I wrote. I was trying to accomplish a lot of things in a scene. I had two of the bad guys show up. One of them was looking for Eliz, and the other one was looking for Fuller. And the one that was looking for Eliz saw Fuller from the distance and called out, and the one that saw Eliz from the distance, the one that was looking for Fuller saw, and he calls out. And the whole scene plays out back and forth between these two bad guys, finding the wrong person and trying to find the right person in the confusion. And it was funny to me. And I got a lot of things done in that scene. There was a lot of things that had to happen that I wanted to accomplish in that scene. But I wove that humorous piece in. That's not really a spoiler. It plays out pretty quickly, and the outcome is obviously, I'm not telling you what happens, I'm just telling you the setup for it. So Fuller and Eliz became extracted from the World of Warcraft. I decided that there was a class of priests who would go get training in healing magic, which is what Eliz had done. And so it's not, it's not the level, it's not like just exactly tank, healer, DPS, but the healing priest became a thing, and they would go from town to town using their magic and their herb bags and their bandages to help people. So that's how Eliz and Fuller came into the World of Siliar, right out of Azeroth into Siliar. That is all for this episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Bill Snodgrass, author of The World of Siliar. Make sure that you are reading along in the stories. www.siliar.com. That's all for this episode. Thanks.